Egg Stampin' Sharon, bringing you some more goodies from my craft room. You know, as I make these videos, I hope I inspire people, and I would love to hear below, what else can I do to inspire you? What would you like to see? I would love to see that. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you. I invite you to subscribe by hitting the button below and then hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every time I upload a video. And if you ever want to contact me, subscribe to my newsletter, get a catalog if you live in the United States. You can do all that in the description box below. Just click that read more button. Let's get to crafting. On today's video, we're going to do something a little different. I don't normally make cards like this, but I've seen quite a few on Pinterest, like just different patterns of paper that have been used to create cards. Well, these little scraps of paper, you always have them from your designer series papers. We keep everything. And so I thought, well, let's play with that. And we're going to play with this cute little punch. I've had it for a while and I haven't played with it. It's called Lovely Labels Punch, and there's two different images. And so on my card, on this card, if you'll notice at the bottom, I used this one. And so on today's video, we're going to use this one, and I'm going to change up the colors. I'm using the designer series paper Flowers for All Seasons. And this made a great pack for me to choose from to get different patterns that all kind of coordinated. I'm using the Sunflower, Celebrate Sunflowers, and the Sunflowers dies. I have all my paper ready. I'm using Whisper White Thick, and it measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored and folded at 5 1/2. I have pieces of designer series papers, and 2 of them are 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches, and then the other ones are 1 inch by 3 inches. When you cut your designer series paper, the designer series paper is 6 inches by 6 inches when you get this size. So if you just cut them in half, you can get lots of bits out of them if you don't already have those bits. I have a piece of designer series paper that is 4 1/4 by 3 inches. I have a scrap of Misty Moonlight. And then I have cut a piece of the Misty Moonlight that is 1 inch by 4 1/4, and I have embossed it with the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder. It really gives good texture to your cardstock. I love it. And you know, it's almost like it could be a masculine pattern. It's just so versatile. So as I said, we're going to use this side of our punch. And when you're looking at your patterns, see how my flowers are going down? I want to punch the bottom. That's really important. So I'm going to slide this in. And while it slides in very nice, I still like to flip it over. Is that a habit? Probably. But I just want to make sure it's lined up evenly. This one, it doesn't matter. Except I went in the wrong slot. Oh, goodness. Again, my patterns, I want the bottom. So after I have punched my pieces, I'm going to start placing them on my Whisper White cardstock to decide how I want them lined up. And you can kind of play with it. Some can go up, some can go down. I like that. And then of course this layer is going to go over top. But for now, we're going to go ahead and adhere these. About 1/4 of an inch from the right hand side. I like having the two yellows together. And then we'll add this piece. And when I say I don't normally make cards like this, I normally don't cut my designer series paper at 4 1/4. I always cut it at 4, but you know, I decided let's do something different. We're gonna take this layer, and of course you always want to adhere embossed cardstock with liquid glue. It just helps them keep them from popping apart. I like the colors, super pretty. We're gonna bring in our Misty Moonlight, and I just have a dryer sheet from the laundry room that I'm gonna use to get the static out of my cardstock. And then we're gonna ink up our little sunflower with our Versamark pad. You know, you could stamp on Whisper White cardstock and then do your coloring, but I thought for something different, let's just do it this way. Blue flowers. I made a video not too long ago with blue sunflowers, and it was inspired by one of my downline, one of my team members. All right, so now I'm gonna heat set this. So I've cut out my flower using the coordinating dies, and I do have a layer of Whisper White. Now my layer happens to measure 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches because I chose Thanks a Bunch, and it fits very nicely on there. We're gonna use Misty Moonlight, and we're gonna ink up our stamp. Perfect. I do want to add that to my card front with some liquid glue. Again, when I'm adhering anything to embossed layers, I like to use liquid glue. I'm going to bring this over about 1/4 of an inch from the side. And I am going to pop my flower up with a dimensional because I think it gives it personality. Oh, I think we might need one more right there. And then I'm going to turn my leaves so that they hover over my sentiment, but not hang off of the edge. Super cute. Oh, I don't know which one I like better. I like them both. I just like the layout. So remember, you could use any designer series papers, any stamp sets, any sentiments, and use up those scraps. Okay, let's talk about the different edges of the punch. Can you see the differences? Let's see here. So just a subtle difference, but I like them. I hope that I've inspired you. I hope that you can use up some of those scraps that you have. And I just want to say happy stamping, y'all. I want to give you guys a tip about sealing your envelopes. You know, I do a lot of thank you cards. We're getting ready to make a lot of Christmas cards. I use my aqua painter. You want to make sure it's not too wet. And then I just come along on the adhesive side, close the envelope, and I don't ever lick envelopes again. I hope you enjoyed that tip.